I will recognize myself for the first round of questions. And before I pose my first question, I do want to very briefly follow up on a point that Dr. Martin made, observing the fact that most of the brave people of Hong Kong who have protested for their own freedom have very limited choices. I noted very favorably the decision by the UK government to move in the direction of allowing significant numbers of Hong Kong residents to move to the UK. I would be very interested in pursuing policy changes here in the United States that would make such an option available to people of Hong Kong to come to America. It would be wonderful for the people of Hong Kong. It would also be wonderful for America if people pursued that, should it come to that. My first question is to Mr. Lee. I can't help but go to the question of the vigil that you just participated in. My understanding is that you personally are out on bail. I'm concerned, frankly, about the personal risks that you and others have taken. Everyone on the streets tonight in Hong Kong were taking great personal risks. What was it like to be part of that? How was it different from previous vigils? What is the mood of the people who were participating in the commemoration?
There's a tension before the candlelit vigil, what the police will do to us when we enter the Victoria Park. Will we be arrested? And today what happened is they have all these loudspeakers warning us that if you go into Victoria Park, this is an unauthorized assembly, and you also will be caught by the ban of gathering regulation of the pandemic. They are threatening people with all this scary threat about breach of the law. But the whole Hong Kong, everyone come out to light a candle. So I think because the number of people that are attending, the police today do not take any action. But the problem with Hong Kong now is they have a formula in such sort of banning the marches and the assembly, and then anyone that come out, you have to take your own personal risk and responsibility. For example, I was under 6 charges for 3 incidents, and the charges include incitement to get people to join an unauthorized assembly, organize and participate in an unauthorized assembly. So in 3 incidents already, I was charged, and tonight I may be charged for the 4th incident. So in a way, now it's very different time than the past. In the past, we will feel, we will be secure to pursue peaceful marches, and also to exercise our freedom of assembly. But now it's a different ball game. They will try to ban all marches, and then when you come out to march, then they will arrest you. So I think Hong Kong people now have to face the fact that you take a personal risk to making a stand in Hong Kong. And so I don't know what will happen to me because of my role in tonight's candlelit vigil, but I would only say that I'm ready to face the consequence.
That's extraordinary personal courage, Mr. Lee. Let me ask you this. When the national security legislation, as it's called, is fully implemented, how's that going to affect people's freedom of speech and press and assembly? How is that going to change things when that's fully implemented?
The National Security Act, firstly, I have to point out, this is made in China. Totally is so absurd that today, Carrie Lam tell the people of Hong Kong that they are going to rush the legislation. And one thing that she said is there will be consultation. And where are the consultation? Laughingly, it is in Beijing and Shenzhen, not in Hong Kong. Why not in Hong Kong? They said that this is a national law. But this so-called national law is going to be implemented in Hong Kong. And so you can see how frustrated we are when we look at this administration in Hong Kong, when they can, tell the people of Hong Kong that no consultation at all about the law in Hong Kong. And the second question, the second answer I want to make is that, how it impacted on Hong Kong. We firstly, as the Hong Kong Alliance who organize the candlelight vigil every year, we do not know whether we can hold a similar vigil next year. I think we will be banned from doing that. And we are even worried that our organization, calling for democracy in China, will be seen as a version, then banned totally in Hong Kong. So we do not know how many organizations in Hong Kong they will ban, how many people they will arrest for, subversion. And one thing that we are very much worried about, I think all of you may know that we will be having a legislative council election in September. So this is a very important election. And because the people of Hong Kong are behind the pro-democracy group, so we may win more seats than the past. But then with the national security law, we are worried that they have one more instrument or one more tools to, play around with the election, is that they must disqualify candidate. So they may ask candidate, imagine, do you support the national security law? You say, no, I don't support it. Then disqualify. So they are really playing very, very dirty trick. And the other thing that I'm worried about, how about the press? If the press report of some of the activities that they are labeled subversion, will the journalists or the media be immediately also banned? So it would really, come into the way of life in Hong Kong, destroying, many aspects of the freedom that we have enjoyed in the past, and we may not have that in the future, and we will have to live in fear. And I don't think this is we are very sad that this is happening to Hong Kong.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.